Welcome back, dear friends. This is Lit E City, the channel dedicated to English literature. And in our major drama series, at present, we are discussing post colonial drama. And in this series, we are taking some writers who have written dramas on issues related with post colonial, we can say, problems about. How they created their identity once again. Today we are going to take a very important dramatist from Indian subcontinent, from India itself, and he is Asif Currimbhoy. Dear friends, Asif Currimbhoy is credited for laying the foundation of modern Indian English drama, and basically he was his whole upbringing, his whole education, and we can say his initial years, they were in very eminent institutions. He was born in an eminent family. After being educated in prestigious institutes of Bombay and later in foreign countries, he started his dramatic career at the very young age of 31. Then, writing continuously, he contributed almost 30 plays, so you can understand his great contribution to Indian English drama. A very important fact about Asif Currimbhoy is that he is perhaps the only Indian dramatist whose plays have been successfully performed at both Broadway and off Broadway. These two are great dramatic production houses of America, where his plays like Goa, the Dole Dramas, they have been performed repeatedly and with success also. If we talk about some of his major plays, of course, he has written more than 25 plays. I am here just talking about 3 and 4 plays. His first play was Goa, which was about Goan liberty movement and how India got freedom, liberated Goa from Portuguese. Then there was the Dole Drummers. It was quite, we can say, a controversial play. It was based on dancers and Kathakali dancer. It was subjugated to censorship in India. The Dumb Dancer, Om. And then we have his problems about social reality, about the problems created in a newly liberated colony. These plays include Inquilab, The Refugees, and Sona Bangla. These are some of his plays. Dear friends, he was very active quite later in his age also, and an ironical fact is that he died because of heart attack when he was returning, witnessing one of his plays performance in Calcutta. Okay, friends, acclaimed as India's first authentic voice in theatre. So you can understand his historical significance also. Karim stands apart from other contemporary dramatists because of his prolific output and thematic variety. Not only he has been a very prolific writer, but he has also experimented. He has also portrayed various problems and issues of society. The Bengal Trilogy, it is consists of these 3 plays. Inquilab, the first one, published in 19 and produced in 1970. The Refugee, published in 1971, and Sona Bangla in 1972. These 3 plays are called the Bengal Trilogy because the plays in it deal with Bengal and its problem at various points of time. So this is one of earliest offering by Asif Currimbhoy into his vision of society, his discussion on some problems at the time. Our present discussion will be focused on Inquilab. Now, Inquilab, a play in three acts, it was first published and performed in 1970. And most important thing you have to remember about this play is that its background is Naxalite revolt. Dear friends, I hope all of you understand about this very gruesome and very, we can say, complicated problem, which is especially very much legible, very much visible in eastern India, in Assam, in West Bengal, Tripura, Meghalaya, and even in some of central part like Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand is Chhattisgarh. These are the areas which are still largely affected by Naxalite revolt. This revolt was actually, we can say, a revolt, peasant revolt or worker revolt against the landowners, and it started in a village like Naxalpada. That is why it is called Naxalite revolt. And the play is basically a contrasting between two philosophy. One is Gandhian philosophy represented by the protagonist's father, Professor Datta, and other is obviously the violent one, Naxalite philosophy or ideology. If we talk about main characters of the play, Professor Datta, he stands like a towering figure in the play. He is an elder professor of law and very staunchly believes in Gandhian values of traditional, we can say, peacemaking and having a democratic values, all things doing by discussions. Then we have Amar. We can call him the protagonist of the play. He is Datta's younger son, and currently he is under the influence of Naxalite ideology. Then we have Ahmad. He is the very extremist leader of local Naxalite group, and he is the one who instigate the youth and the peasant and proletariat to act violently against the system. We also have Shamik, who belongs to the peasant community, and he also supports Ahmed's view regarding changes in the society. We also have Jain. He is the local Jamindar, the landowner. That is why he is the enemy of the Naxalites. And in the end, we have Supriya also. She is the daughter of this Jamindar Jain, and she and Amar, they both have a romantic inclination towards each other. If we talk about the story in brief, if we talk about this play, the main setting of the opening scene is a college classroom in which Marxist slogans are everywhere on display. There is a red picture of Mao. Then we have Datta, a professor of law. He is having a animated conversation with his agitated students who are quite, we can say, aggressive, and he tries to highlight the importance of the conservative views. All those is to he wants these students to introspect on the socio-political situation in the dying city of Calcutta. Now, these students include Amar. Amar, his son, he is also among them, and provoked and agitated by his views, his traditional conservative views, these students start to bang the table with their fists, shouting slogans like class enemies Murdabad, Jotedar, that is the landowner Murdabad, police Murdabad, and Inquilab Jindabad. Inquilab we know that means a revolution. Now, the scene shifts to Datta's home where he is standing in front of Gandhi's portrait, thinking about the recent developments, looking at the students and their agitation. He is pained to see that his students have lost faith in democratic values. Actually, he has already lost his elder son, Mihir, who went to Mizo Hill for Naxalite training and was killed later in Burma in a sort of Naxalite action. Amar, he reaches home and both father and son have a confrontation, and they both share their views about society and land position. Actually, now we have some ideas presented by Amar, who tells his father his idea of proletarian internationalism, in which it is basically they propose that all land should be acquired by the society itself and distributed equally among all. Then we have Ahmad, who is the leader and an extremist local Naxalite group, and the other members of this group include Shamik, Sarkar, and also Amar. Ahmad wants to employ radical and extreme means like violence to achieve the goals, and for this purpose they have decided to execute the Jamindar Jain, who owns a large chunk of property, and they consider him to be the enemy of their class. Now, Amar is incidentally in love with Supriya, daughter of Jain, and whole group knows this fact, and they doubt that because of this particular relationship, Amar may not be fully committed to the cause. And so Amar goes and meet the Jamindar, and they both have heated argument. Jain says that he will not give an inch of his land because he has earned it by hard work. He is not one of those who exploits his worker. He treats them well, and he himself put a lot of hard work, and that is why he is not ready to give up his land. Now, what happens in a very interesting development? There is one local politician, Devdas, and there is also Jamindar Jain. They both have their own selfish ends. They try to bribe Shamik, but Shamik, who comes from a peasant family, he refuses to be bribed. There is a meeting of Council of Justice of Naxalites. It's we can say a sort of local administrative body, illegal administrative body. It is organized. Jain is brought in rope. He is tied, his mouth gagged. Amar tries to plead with the council to give fair judgment because he thinks and he says that Jain has been fair in his dealings with his workers. But Shamik does not accept his opinion because he says Jain belongs to the privileged class, and thus it makes him a class enemy. Now the rebellious peasants who are thirsty of blood of these particular elite class or Jamindar class, he is executed among this whole group. Supriya, when she comes to know about this, she is shocked and devastated because she finds that Amar is also one of the executors, and when she basically makes a charge sheet, when police makes the charge sheet, she names him also as one of the executors. Now, a time passes. Once again, there are continuous debates between even Amar and Shamik. They are very different in their opinion. Amar thinks that rebellion should be start or protest should be start from the classroom, while Shamik says that it should be from the land or from the peasants. Now there is a scene once again at the college, and students are agitating against Professor Datta. The fearless mob of these students, they marches ahead to burn the library. Professor Datta tries to stop them. He is pushed down to the ground. Amar, in a heated frenzy, provoked by, we can say, the crowd, he breaks the statue of Sir Ashutosh. Sir Ashutosh is a one-time mentor of his father. So breaking of his statue means breaking of those ideals which Datta has for such a long life nourished and followed. Professor Datta helplessly witnesses these events. Ahmad comes forward. He has a weapon in his hand, a sort of, we can say, scythe, and in front of all these students, in front of his own son Amar, he murders him. Asif Currimbhoy very, we can say, graphically presents the murder of Professor Datta. More time passes. Amar now comes to realize after losing these two persons close to his heart that his methods are wrong. There is a continuous discussion, and when Ahmad comes to his house, he has an argument with Ahmad. And when he goes inside, there is a very, we can say, touching scene, because widowed wife of Professor Datta, mother of Amar, she is looking at Ahmad with her eyes full of distrust and disbelief. Okay, dear friends, this was all about Inquilab, which shows the anarchy of any violent movement. It is not Naxalite movement is just a metaphor presented by Asif Currimbhoy to point out how violence leads to, we can say, mass frenzy or mass madness, and which can result in personal and as well as social loss. It's a great, we can say, play to read and understand the violent situation of Calcutta at that time. That's all for today. We will be once again back with new plays. Keep watching, keep supporting. Thank you, dear friends.